This thing looks as if it might have been at home in Frankenstein's garden shed. Don't you think? Really weird-looking gadget. The only way to work it out, I think, is to come down to the bottom here. Here we've got what is quite clearly a paraffin burner. On the outside it says P.J. Bryant, Bristol. We've got a paraffin filling hole here, and intriguingly on the far side there's a kind of fuel gauge. It's got a cork at the bottom that would float on the paraffin and indicate as to whether the reservoir is full or empty. But why would you want to be sure that you've got enough fuel? This thing is a heater, but it's a heater with attitude. This top compartment would contain water. Take the cap off and fill it with water through that hole. The paraffin burner underneath would heat up the water, which would heat up these pipes, and ultimately steam would be given off that would then be distributed down the length of the top bar, spewing out steam at the ends as well as underneath. But why would you want to take all that trouble? For one specific purpose, and that's orchids. Orchids were the most beloved of conservatory plants for the late Victorian. They were expensive, and if you propagated orchids, you could not afford not to give them a nice steamy atmosphere, and also you couldn't afford not to keep them warm in the winter. So this is a great piece of kit, isn't it? Frankly, whether you just want to raise tomatoes in your greenhouse or orchids in your conservatory, this thing has to be a bargain, because the man is asking £100 for it. £100, which is incredibly cheap. Almost as cheap as inexpensive fried potatoes.